everyone, Mike the Beast here, and I wanted to recap and show off my haul from the 3 Minute in the Basement and Comic Crawl that took place this past weekend. Huge shout out to Roger and Otto, 3 Minute in the Basement, hosting the event. Huge shout out to Coffee and Comics and Sarge's and Collectibles and Cards, the 3 stops we had. And without any further ado, let me go into the haul. Start out with what I got from Coffee and Comics. And the one figure I got from there was this Michael Morvious figure. Really cool figure from the 90s cartoon show. Grew up loving it, and being a big horror guy as well as a Spidey guy, this was an awesome grab. So as you know me, I'm a big Spidey, FF, horror, Batman, Spider-Man, and everything else in between. Those are my big focuses, and I was able to get a lot of that today. So this is once again at Coffee and Comics. Got FF311, FF303, Marvel Team Up Spider-Man and Doctor Strange, also a Clea, character that could be arriving shortly in the MCU. The Free Comic Book Day, Batman and Superman. Love, this run, the different volumes it's had, a lot of cool covers. Going back to the FF328, FF322, FF321, FF320, awesome Doom and Grey Hulk cover right there with the thing. This is a book I've been looking for, and every time I get a chance I pick it up. The new Avengers #7, first appearance of the Illuminati. Then what better way to follow that is with the new Avengers Illuminati 1 of 5. Never seen that one in the wild before. An awesome variant cover of Action Comics 1024. Going back to Morvious, and this was an awesome find, and it's Marvel Team Up #3, which features the 3rd appearance of Michael Morvious, and there's also appearance of the Human Torch. Love that cover, happy to add it to the collection. An awesome Venom variant cover for this run, of issue 6 of this run. And then found this cool Gold Key Boris Karloff Tales of Mystery. Really cool horror cover right there. And with Batman, got Brave and the Bold, #130. Awesome cover of Batman, Green Arrow, the Atom, and of course Joker and Two-Face, 2 of the all-time greatest DC villains, villains overall. And got first appearance of Doomsday. I believe that is a first print as well. Awesome West Coast Avengers 21 cover, Moon Knight, pretty much front and center right there. FF, going back to those, 302. And X-Book, I've been picking up when I can, especially if it's at a great price like it was at Coffee and Comics, $166. And then we got Detective Comics #443. That also contains the Creeper's origin. And last bunch of books from Coffee and Comics. Got Vampirella #1 of one of her many series. And then #5, Vengeance of Vampirella, part 6 of 6 of a miniseries. And then this is an 8-page, 48-page thriller, Vampirella. Summer Nights, cool horror cover right there. Found this awesome Ghost Rider cover I've never seen before. It's Garth Ennis and Clayton Crane. This is issue 6 of 6. Really love that cover. I found a cool Werewolf by Night #1. This I just never seen that before. And then my last two from Coffee and Comics. I've kind of fallen into that horror magazine rabbit hole and found Famous Monsters #58. Awesome Karloff mummy cover. And then Famous Monsters 71. Just an awesome Frankenstein and Wolfman cover. And just a huge shout out to the guys at Coffee and Comics, Adam, Jimmy. Awesome stop right there. They also had their own special cold brew, the Super Soldier Serum. So shout out to them. And now cards and collectibles. This was like more of a sports memorabilia store, but I guess they just acquired like 60 long boxes, and they opened it up for us to dig through. So I was able to find a lot of indie stuff and books, a lot of people on the call never heard of. But even going through all that, I'm pretty happy with what I found. Got Gen 13 issue 3. And then Gen 13 Interactive, issue #3. And then Gen 13 Bootleg, issue 6. I know Gen 13s are pretty hot, and a lot of people go after those. Also, there was a double cover, so I also got the Gen 13 Bootleg, issue 7, or this was on the other side of the bag and board. And then I found a few DC books. Dr. Fate, issue 4 from this run by J.M. DeMatteis. Dr. Fate's coming, and there's a lot of cool comics with him out there. Ragman #6. Thought this was a cool cover. Very kind of underused DC character. I thought he was done well in the Arrow series. And then an awesome book, Dan Jurgens and Norm Ratman, Time Master's Vanishing Point. Got a cool cover of Booster Gold, Green Lantern, Superman, and of course, Reverse Flash. So that's what I got at that stop. With what was there was a lot of digging, but once again, a lot of indie books. But to find these books, I thought was cool, and for $7 total, can't beat that. And then lastly, went to Sarge's in New London, and this was a blast because we got to dig through the basement. And before I get into the comics, once again, I picked up a few figures. Very nostalgic right here. Marvel put out these metal little minifigures, and thought this one was awesome with Silver Surfer and Terrax. Also had these cool Batman mini statues from the animated series, another show I grew up with as a kid. So I got Catwoman, Penguin, and the Joker. Also, going back to those minifigures, there are some for the X-Men as well. So I got Cyclops and Juggernaut, Beast and Morph, which is Evil Morph. Once again, this is from those 90s, the awesome 90s cartoons. Got Magneto and Professor X. And then one of the best rivalries in comics, Sabretooth and Wolverine. And then this was either like a McDonald's or Burger King's toy, but you can't really see it in the wrapping. Also from the Batman animated series, Batwoman, Batgirl. And then out of box, out of packaging, but because he's one of my favorite characters. Never had this as a kid. I don't think I ever saw this ever, but a cool Silver Surfer. Thought that was cool. And then the last figure I got, going back to Batman animated series, other than the Joker, my favorite Batman villain, especially from the show, the Riddler. Thought this was cool. And let me go into the books that I got now. So in the basement, Sarge's did a lot of digging and found a lot of cool stuff. All the books I got from Sarge's, all but one came from the basement. I'll save that for later. So he had a lot of the 90s X-Men #1 Jim Lee books. So got that cover. Spectacular Spider-Man 184, you know me, Goblin guy. Picked that up. Spawn #3. If you never find any early Spawn books, definitely jump on those. And these, I need to do more research on these, but these polybagged Robin 3 books. Never seen those before. Another little X-Men series I'm not too familiar with. X-Men the movie prequel series, Rogue. And I'll go into something else about these books, but here's one on Magneto. Yeah, Sabretooth, looks like Mystique and someone else using Cerebro. But what's cool about these, both came with a certificate of authenticity. Dynamic Forces Inc. has issued the certificate to authenticate this copy of X-Men the movie prequel Rogue Dynamic Forces exclusive cover as one of a specially limited series of 15,000 copies. And this was number 1035. And then this one was for the Magneto cover 0231. So those are cool. Never heard of those. Must have came out around before the movie came out. So those are cool. So yeah, more of those. Sticking with the X-Men, the X-Men 1 cover from Jim Lee. Might be my favorite out of all of them. Awesome Magneto cover. Storm and Beast, Jean Grey, Angel, and Xavier. Got 2 of those. And back to my Batman, Detective 435. Awesome horror-ish cover with like a green phantom right there. Awesome early Man-Bat cover. So I got some Morbius and Man-Bat, on the haul throughout the crawl today. Dead of Night #1, a cool, one of the cool, 70s through the 80s when Marvel was coming out with those horror titles. Batman 361, another cool Man-Bat cover. And then Alpha Flight number 17 and 18. Actually, 18 might not be in this handful. But I believe 17 is the first Vindicator. So Alpha Flight eventually coming. That's a cool book. FF425, a really cool Surfer and Johnny Storm cover. FF330, fantastic Doom cover, no pun intended. Got Mordred the Mystic, #2, one book. If I see it, I'm picking it up. And this character's gotten hot the last couple weeks. Adam Warlock, this is the Death of Adam Warlock, issue 11. And you know me, with my horror, and just one great thing about the whole crawl is it just shows how strong and awesome the community is. When we were in the basement at Sarge's, and by that point, if we didn't know any of the other members of the crawl before the event, we got to know each other throughout the day and got to know what people's interests were and what books they were looking for. So if there was a book someone found that wasn't for them, but they knew someone else was into that or looking for that book, we were letting each other know, which is just awesome. So Otto of Three Men was at one side of the basement, I was on the other, and he goes, "Mike, aren't you looking for Tomb of Draculas?" And of course, and we go, "Yes." So he called me over, and I was able to find these awesome Tomb of Dracula books. Got 67, which is a Lilith cover, daughter of Dracula. Tomb of Dracula 44, which is Doctor Strange and Dracula. And then out of the tombs, this was one of the coolest ones I found, and one of the ones I needed for the PC. Tomb of Dracula number 2. So once again, shout out to Otto there. Got Justice League from the New 52, the Dark Side War 50, which I believe versus Jessica Cruz. Found an awesome Superman Bizarro World. Love these issues because it's, you know, backwards for Bizarro, which is cool. Cover I didn't have. Found a cool Invaders 29. Thought that was a cool cover. Dr. Doom Magneto Supervillain Team Up. Awesome Doom cover. Issue 14 of that series. Robin, Son of Batman, number 1. And also Robin, Son of Batman, issue 2. Found an awesome 15-cent Justice League, issue 81. And also in the back came like a little thing of those Marvel cards in there, only at Sarge's. And then another nice find I found was Marvel Premiere 48, which is, I believe, second Scott Lang and first Scott Lang as Ant-Man. Awesome yellow cover there. So that was in the basement at Sarge's. So I got Detective Comics, Batman and Robin, $3.91. This was a cool cover to add to the Batman collection. Superman in our 15 center, $2.35. And Superman $2.39 had a few reprinted stories in it about Action Comics $3.99 with a cool, creepy Superman at like a morgue, and another 15 center. 12-cent Justice League number 65. Another really cool something going on with that cover. Action $3.98, awesome Superman cover right there. Action $3.76. And bringing on, save that one there. Justice League number 90. Very in the bold, Batman the Teen Titans number 94. And Superman number 237. Got zombies or aliens or zombie aliens going on over there. And bringing on the horror, we got that keeping coming with House of Mystery number 182. Got Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen number 122. And 123. A cool, awesome 90s foil, hollow, graphic cover. I guess more foil, but very shiny. This is Storm number 1, first Fantastic issue. Some more FF 358. Then a second print of the first appearance of Cable, New Mutants 87. Cool find right there. And then the Deadly Foes of Spider-Man, a series from the 90s, issue number 1. You got Rhino, Hydro Man, the Beetle, Boomerang. And 30th anniversary issue of Iron Man, issue 290. Another nice 90s foil goodness. And then Catwoman number 1 for this series in the 90s. Some Dreadstar number 1. Shout out to Chinmo finding that for me. Heroic Age, New Avengers number 1. A lot of these books have been kind of heating up a little bit. You know, I found a gold key back at Comics and Coffee, and now I found another one in the basement at Sarge's. The Green Hornet. Spider-Verse #1. You know, it's that movie with the sequel to Into the Spider-Verse being Across the Spider-Verse. You know, all these issues, good books to pick up right now. Then I mentioned Alpha Flight earlier, so here's issue 18. And then Web of Spider-Man 123. Thought this was a cool cover. Alright, the last bunch from Sarge's. Going back to some DC. World's Finest 187. Action 392. A cool Batman Superman cover. Detective Comics 409. And we got Superman 236. And I've been, looking to find this book in the wild. With Blade coming, figure anything and all Blade, plus a cool Spidey cover. So we got It Takes One to Kill One, Blade issue #1. I've seen this cover, a ton of times online, and was able to find one. And it's Mark Guggenheim, the guy behind the Arrowverse as well. He did a lot of comics, and cool guy to meet. If you go through my channel in the archive, there's I did a really nice interview with him back from TriffCon a few years ago. Alright, how about some more FF? FF from this series, or this volume, number 27. And another nice Doom cover. This issue before, 26. How about #1? 90s goodness right there. Dark Hawk, #1. Sticking with the dark and Marvel. How about Rise of Midnight Suns, Darkhold, #1. And then was able to find not the whole run, but the Secret Wars, the more modern one, issue #1. Issue #4, nice Doom cover with issue #5. Issue #6. And issue #8. Last one from the basement, West Coast Avengers, the miniseries #1. Hawkeye coming up soon. Thought this would be a cool book to grab. And the only book that I didn't get from the basement at Sarge's was Behind the Counter, where they keep a lot of their big issues, keys, first appearances, slabs, and special commissions and sketches. Was able to find this in one of the long boxes behind the counter. Awesome addition to my collection, one I needed. About Werewolf by Night #2. Nice copy. And then the 3 Men in the Basement had a raffle for everyone who went to all 3 stops. You got to enter your name in their raffle. They had 3 prizes. One donated by Coffee and Comics. It was a Peach Momoko slab, I believe. An awesome, I don't know exactly where it was from, but an awesome replica lightsaber, Star Wars. And then they had a New York NYCC exclusive. And my name was called first, and I ended up going with the NYCC exclusive. Being a big symbiote guy as well as the Miles Morales 30. Obviously, the homage to the ASM 300. And that was the crawl. Once again, shout out to Roger and Otto hosting a great day. Coffee and Comics, and Jimmy, Adam, awesome spot in Meriden. Able to find some nice books. Those guys are great. And they had awesome cold brew as well, which is very available from Greater Minds Coffee in Oakville, Connecticut. And Cards and Collectibles and Cards. Was able to find some of those nice, dollar bin books. And then Sarge's, which was another great time. It was great hanging out with the community. Once again, it's just amazing how strong the community is, how awesome it is hanging out, bunch of guys talking comics, picking out comics, helping each other find comics they're looking for. You can't beat that, and I always look forward to these events they put on, the crawls, the swaps, and it's just a great time. And once again, for me, the best thing to come out of this pandemic is getting more involved with the comic book community on Instagram, YouTube, and events like this at conventions. It's been great. So once again, shout out to those 3 stops. Shout out to 3 Men in a Basement, and shout out to everyone on the crawl. CT_comics, Bronzeville Comics, Chinmo, Uncle Frank, Streetside Anthony, NOLA Comics. It's just a great bunch of people to spend the day with, collecting comics, talking comics, and all that. So once again, I go on and on about how awesome the event was. Keep an eye out. I definitely recommend, if you're in the area, or if you're not even, stopping by one of these events. It's a lot of fun. 3 Men do a great job. So with that being said, this is Mike V. Spencer signing off. Take it easy, everybody.